hottest show in sports.
I mentioned the word cheerleaders. That brings us to the second stage of our sports fear show here today. And the absolute fear, the anger, the literal hate that is spewed that turns into fear, again, when we're dealing with football. And for this takes us to the Twin Cities in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
The Minnesota Vikings getting ready to tackle their rivals as the NFL season approaches. But the team, now playing defense after announcing 2 new members of its cheerleading squad, are men. Blaze and Louie earning spots after a rigorous audition process.
I went to a lot of Vikings games with my family, mainly my dad. Was definitely watching cheerleaders thinking like, I wish I could do that. Being that role model for other little kids who don't know that this is an option.
But the inclusion of the 2 men on the 35-person cheer roster has some calling to boycott the team, with replies to the Vikings Instagram post reading, "I'm not a Viking fan no more," and "I just lost all my respect for the Vikings." Across social media, far-right accounts latching on to the backlash, and even a former player blatantly hateful. Antonio Brown, currently wanted by police for attempted murder, which he denies, calling Blaze a homophobic slur. Plenty of others defending the cheerleaders, writing, "They were incredible and deserve their spot as a part of the squad." The Vikings telling NBC News, so far, no fans have canceled their season tickets, and writing, quote, "Male cheerleaders have been part of previous Vikings teams and have long been associated with collegiate and professional cheerleading. We support all of our cheerleaders and are proud of the role they play as ambassadors of the organization." Efforts to reach the 2 male cheerleaders for comment were unsuccessful. Of course, cheerleading men is nothing new. There have been countless parodies like this classic Will Ferrell SNL skit.
Fix it up, break it down now.
Or the iconic teen drama Bring It On.
These are not spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers.
But even former presidents George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, and Dwight Eisenhower were cheerleaders, and many consider men a vital part of the squad. The Vikings point out a third of NFL teams have male cheerleaders. The league embracing other identities too. The Carolina Panthers, since 2022, have featured the first and only openly transgender cheerleader in the NFL.
Minnesota Vikings fans are threatening to leave the Vikings because, my God, there's men on the field and they're showing us their butts in shorts. My God, what a bunch of homoerotica is going on here all of a sudden. Mike, they're threatening. Now, remember, as the report told us, nobody has canceled their season tickets yet. And the threat to cancel season tickets is absolute bullshit, because it takes so long to get a season ticket for a team like Minnesota. You get rid of your season tickets, you'll be back on the list. You'll be in by the year 2317 the next time you get them. Nobody's going to cancel a season ticket. But Mike, again, here we are in the fear factor. What is so frightening about having guys on a cheerleading squad? Now, before we do this, hang on. Here, and the list is here. The Vikings, the Rams, the Ravens, the Saints, the Eagles, the Titans, the Colts, the 49ers, Chiefs, Bucks, and Panthers all have guys on the sideline. And we haven't heard a peep out of this, but all of a sudden we got some gender-challenged individuals in Minnesota who don't like men on the field, and they're going to cancel their season tickets. Mike, what are they so scared of?
Well, I think it's clear what's going on, Ed. They're trying to get the NFL more woke. This wokeism is taking over, and getting male cheerleaders, homosexual male cheerleaders, probably.
Well, wait a minute now, Mike. You gotta be careful there, because we're not really sure.
I don't think
they
so.
They look like they might be homosexuals the way they dance and the way they wriggle, but we're not really sure there, Mike.
I ain't naming my kids Blaze and Louie. Are you? God dang it. No, but okay. But in all seriousness, we get away from the redneck stuff. I think you found the niche for the show.
That's part of it.
I think you've got the niche for the show. You actually came up with a theme. Oh my God, I'm the most unorganized person in America. I take ADHD medicine. You have a theme today, and you have video that's freaking brilliant. I have no idea where you even got that clip from. It looked like a Chat GPT report,
No, that was
but
from
it was so
MSNBC.
really, it was done well. I learned
Well, of
so much. Who
course.
knew that three
That's why I
presidents were
stole it.
cheerleaders? Who knew that former presidents, like manly men, like Eisenhower, a general, was a cheerleader? And my God, I think I wanted to be a baton twirler when I saw a parade when I was
I could
young.
see that. I could definitely see
It
that.
didn't, it didn't change how I felt about myself. I still loathe myself. And so the whole thing is just it's funny to me because it was almost like the report was a parody. Like that there's people out there that really are upset. Like the first tweet they show is I just don't like it. Like the guy couldn't even speak correct English in a tweet. It was hilarious. I
Well, that's
you
just it.
know
You can hear it when the tweet comes out. And we do this automatically. I guarantee you everybody's done it, where they read the tweet and they go, "Oh, I know what that guy sounds like. I don't like it. It's not good for me." And I'm not. And we'll get hammered by people with Southern accents. But you got to admit, that's what people think of right away. Or they think of the macho man going, "I don't want my football touched by men.
well,
There's men in short shorts and tight little shorts. Damn it, get them away. I want to see those women, damn it. Let's objectify a few more women. Come on, let's put them out there. I want to see those boobs and I want to see those butts because those are women, damn it. And we need more women in football cheerleading."
I'll do a couple serious moments today.
Okay.
One of which is, and I'm, I guess spoiler alert. I'm going to drop a little profanity here. Um, it's one thing to say I don't like this or it rocks my tradition. I mean, there are a lot of people in San Antonio, Texas, and different parts of Texas where there's large Hispanic, Latino, Mexican American communities that are furious now that the quinceañera festivals where the 15-year-old has these huge
Right.
parties, a 15-year-old girl, it's when she becomes a woman. Well, they're doing quinceañeros for boys now, and they just think this is wrong, and it plays with Mexican tradition and everything that the quinceañera is about over the years. It's like, okay, whatever. If you don't want to change with the times, that's fine. But when a guy like Antonio Brown comes out and uses a gay slur,
A
fuck
suspected
you.
murderer.
Fuck you, Antonio Brown. You're a bigot. You're a punk, and you don't stand for anybody in society. So shut the. I mean, I just can't deal with people like that take it to that level. And we do have a lot of friends out there. I don't have gay friends. I don't have black friends. I have people in my life, a lot of friends, some of which are gay, some of which are black, some of which are white, some of which are Native American. Like, who freaking cares? If we haven't gotten past this stuff, like people always go to me, hey, doesn't it bother you when you see two guys holding hands or they're kissing? I'm like, I don't want anybody kissing. Like, I don't
Why?
want a guy and a girl making out in front of me. That's for their private living room. It's one thing to give someone a peck. I don't care if someone's holding hands, showing a public affection. If they love the person, screw them. I just think that it's like, grow up. We got to get past this.
Well, that's just it. We haven't gotten past it. And we've talked about a number of things on this show before that people have not gotten past. But this is one where all of a sudden this creates an outrage from certain people. And let's again be honest here. The media jumps on this because it has the cachet of being nothing more than clickbait. Because you have ESPN, you have Fox, who are all in bed with the National Football League and want to make sure they protect the badge at any cost whatsoever because they're all making money. And they'll make a big deal out of this. And you'll get them joke about it. And they'll talk about it with their former players who are on the set. And they'll basically denigrate it. And some of them will go, hey, I'm okay with it. But you're not. That's the problem. You have a facet of this country, and probably, Mike, in Minnesota, this might be, I don't know, 100 people maybe. There could be millions of fans of the Vikings, and maybe 100, maybe 50 of them have come out and put something out on social media to talk about how I'm going to get rid of my season tickets now because you've got males, and you know what the words are that they're going to use. You've got them on the cheerleading squad, so I'm going to cancel my tickets. Good. Cancel them. Walk away.
You know what?
We need to get rid of the flotsam and jetsam and the nonsense in this country. And these are the people right here who are keeping us from becoming evolutionary sound again. I mean,
You
get
know what?
rid of them.
I'm gonna market Blazing Louis T-shirts, and I guarantee you those
Look,
things
I'll
will
bet you
sell
they
out.
will. But
You know no, it's crazy. I mean, and on a lesser level, a lot of the cheerleaders in America, whether you it's put through people through college, but two, for many people it's a part-time job. They don't pay enough for the two little dance numbers, but it's money, and it's not like it's not like the NBA when they announced 20 years ago or whatever that two women officials were going to enter the league. One of which I think is still there, the other which was awful, and she went back to lower level basketball. But the bottom line was it was a big deal. And these guys, I don't think that doesn't sound like if Carolina's got a transgender cheerleader, they're not breaking some LGBTQ barrier that needs to be just let them do their jobs.
And I gotta be honest, Mike.
Blaze and Louie are probably more into the team than you freaking Nordic Dane slayers. Shut up.
I didn't know there was a transgender cheerleader on the Carolina Panthers until I saw the
I didn't
report.
either.
You know why? Because it's not important to me, because I really don't care.
Yeah, good for
But
her.
it's this whole point about this that people get all upset and crazy about this. And here's the other thing, too. They're talking, and if you listen to the report from MSNBC, George Bush, George Bush, Ronald Reagan, and Dwight Eisenhower were all cheerleaders. So I guess they're not really manly men. We have to go back.
Manly,
and again, Mike, know this is all part of the MAGA nonsense in this country right now. It's all part of the woke attack because they don't fit what they want as males. You guys are out there. You look like a bunch of fairies is what they're going to say in private conversation. And they'll say that you're too woke. It's the MAGA attack on America with these people. They don't want to go out and admit that Bush and Reagan were also cheerleaders, so these guys were out on the field doing the same thing, although I doubt they were wearing gold lame pants, but they were cheerleaders too. But they don't go back and look at that because we're all afraid that you're going to... And here's another thing too. I heard Jay Feely, who used to be a kicker for the Chicago Bears, and Feely was on one of these ridiculous right-wing platforms, and he tried to make this all about, we're not teaching our boys how to be men. We need to teach our boys how to be real men, and we need to teach them how to take care of their families. They immediately shovel that into this nonsense because they have to find a way to justify it. And there is no way to justify it. It's just people having fun, but they make it about the macho nonsense MAGA bullshit. And that's where this all lands.
Why are place kickers always the guys trying to be more manly? Because everybody's telling them they're not men on the field. Like Harrison Butker of Kansas City, Jay Feely. Was Jay Feely a quarterback or a place kicker?
I don't know. I think he was. Maybe he was. But either way,
he was a backup quarterback.
He was about as effective a quarterback. He was. Let's put it this way: as a quarterback, he was a great place kicker. So there you go.
I'll tell you what, he's not as good at being a quarterback as Blaze and Louie are at their jobs. They're probably going to be more into the Vikings than anybody. But I can't see Reagan kind of going to Nancy one day like, well, Nancy, I'm going to go get my pom-poms. I mean, you come on. It is funny. This is such low-hanging fruit for like the Clay Travises, the Portnoys, all the Tate Brothers audience out there, all the Manosphere idiots. They're gonna love this. I mean, I just can't. Hey, real quick. I always love it, and I always love it getting into arguments with evangelicals or anybody for that matter that somehow suggests that homosexuality, bisexuality, it's all a choice. And that God made you a heterosexual, and you just, and I'm sure there's very infinitesimal percentages of people that make up sexual assaults. There's probably a very small percentage that actually did choose that lifestyle. 99% don't. I guarantee you. And you know why, Ed? Because, and this is why I always say, But people say, "Oh, what if your son came out gay?" I'd be a little heartbroken. Not because I want him to be the macho guy and give him, give me a biological son tomorrow. Not all that. No, because he would be discriminated against.
Yes.
He would be
Yes.
bullied.
He
He
would
would
be
be treated
hammered by
like
a
dirt.
portion
And
of
I'd
society.
become even a more staunch supporter of gay rights and LGBTQ rights. But I would be sick to my stomach that someone would look at him as a smaller person because of that, and I would have to get over that and say, "Screw it." Now I'm going to double down on my support. That's the only reason. Like but who would choose to be gay? Whoops, sorry.
No, that's okay. When you get into this conversation, it always amazes me how there are those people out there, and this happens, we've seen this happen many times, who get involved in these sociological issues. They have daughters, yet they hammer away at women's rights and they hammer away at all the things that women can decide, but they have daughters. So they're basically saying, hey, don't worry about it. My kid's not going to be bothered by this. Yes, she will. It's the same thing as your son. Yes, he will. Everybody gets bothered by this with the bullying that's out there. And again, that's another word too, because the minute you bring bullying into it, you'll have a facet of society who goes, oh, listen to these two guys now, these old guys. They're talking about all this woke stuff. Nobody bullies anybody. It's just the way life is. Get life on, go ahead, strap on the pants and get out there and be a man, damn it. Be a woman, damn it. Whatever it is. Here's what I hope comes out of this, and I know we had to talk about this.
Yeah.
But let me drop a line here to like the local media, the stations in the Twin Cities. Don't cover this story. Don't. You're dealing with maybe 5 or 10 or maybe 50 people who are out there saying they're going to cancel their season tickets, who are out there saying that this is all wrong, who are out there pushing away this male nonsense. Don't cover the story. Don't you have something better to do? Isn't there something a little more journalistically correct you can do than talk about what a couple of clown boys are saying on social media? I mean, there's another problem, Mike.
Not only that. Let's boil this down to the two individuals. They don't need to be targeted. They don't need people, name calling them. They don't need to be, their social media accounts found out and just plastered with ugly stuff. Like, it's two guys, irrespective of whether we don't even know what their sexuality is.
And I don't
Who
care.
knows? Who cares? So just let them do their jobs. You know how many ridiculous dance moves I do in my house every day? I mean, I can't do it professionally or I would.
Dude, you got to roll video on that. You could go viral with that.
You would have laughed. One day, in 2012, I went up to the front desk of the Marriott during the Super Bowl between the Ravens and the 49ers. It was in New Orleans, and they wanted to know where I was from, and I said, "Oh, you guys don't know." And there was all these women behind the front desk, and they're from New Orleans. They were mostly women, and I go, "Guys, I'm a backup dancer for Beyonce, who is performing that year." And they go, "Oh, yeah, right." I go, "Oh, you don't think so, huh?" And then I go, "If you like it, put a ring on it. If you like," oh my God, I had them rolling behind the counter. But anyway,
You're looking for the viral video here, man. You just found it. You got to tape these things.
We got to grow up, man. If that's a story in America that we have two male cheerleaders, oh my God.
And it's not even a big deal in the NFL.
You know who's a minute? Michelle Tafoya, the conservative activist who used to be a sports journalism broadcaster on Monday Night Football. She's become she's a conservative pundit now. She's got her own podcast. I went on it. She's from Minnesota. I'm going to ask her. I'm going to slide into her DMs and ask her how she feels about this. Could be interesting.
It could be interesting, but it could also be very revelatory as well to discuss what these people are thinking of, because stop covering this nonsense. We talk about it here because it's become a national issue. It's plugged all over the national networks. Even the national news networks have covered it and talked about it, even if it is for only 20 or 30 seconds. It's nonsense. Get away from this. Let these people live their lives. And be a little bit more secure in your own masculinity, guys. I tend to think that's part of the problems.
It's exactly that. It's like why the kickers are it's why the most obscure players are the people that want to be part of the manosphere because it gives them some kind of testosterone cred. You know what I say to all them, Ed? Go get some uterus.
Great idea, Mike. I'm going to have T-shirts made with just that on it. Hey,
Yeah.
go get some
Have some uterus.
That's all, folks.